Oh,
Who do you
yeah.
think you are? Will you alter the world? Doesn't making a man a knight make him a better fighter?
Oh, he's gonna tell him off. He's gonna tell him off. Watch this.
Yes.
What, that's it? Kingdom of Heaven, released in 2005, and is directed by Ridley Scott, a director that we just talked about with Blade Runner. He's also done films such as Alien, The Martian, and many, many others. The film stars Orlando Bloom, Eva Green, Jeremy Irons, Brendan Gleeson, David Thewlis, Edward Norton, and Liam Neeson. It's been a century since the Christians reclaimed Jerusalem from the Muslims during the Crusades. Our hero in this movie, Balian, is a simple blacksmith in a small town, and his wife has just committed suicide, and he has started to question his religion. Then one day a knight arrives and tells Balian that he is the knight's son and he wants Balian to come with him to Jerusalem. Eventually Balian goes on this crusade and tries to find his lost relationship with God there. But Jerusalem is under conflict with a massive Muslim army ready to reclaim the city for their religion. Now, I originally saw this movie when it first came out in theaters, so I saw the theatrical version, and I remember really liking it. It was just one of those movies where I would just watch it more than one time a year. Well, I mean, up until like the last 5 years. I haven't seen this in a while. And then I heard that Ridley Scott released a director's cut that made it vastly superior than its theatrical version. Typical Ridley Scott films. Oh! Nope, this film that pops up in the theater, nope, that's not my actual version. This is my version that I wanted to show. But actually, to my surprise, I found out that the theatrical version was actually panned by the majority of critics. Yeah, which I find kind of surprising. So for this review, I actually did go out and find the director's cut, and after watching it, I have to say, this is the version that should have been released in theaters. However, if you are going to sit down and watch the director's cut, think epic. I mean, huge, grand scale, really long running time. This film is kind of presented like those classics like Ben-Hur, Patton, Lawrence of Arabia. Begins with an overture, then we have an intermission, then we have an entr'acte. I was just kind of watching this, I was like, oh, well, maybe I need to wear like a tuxedo because we're going out to the theater tonight. Because this movie is so long, it's gonna take up my entire evening. I just really wish the studio would have let Ridley Scott release his version of the film, and he thinks so too. The DVD starts with a nice little foreword from director Ridley Scott, and he explains the things that they changed and the things that they added, and you can just hear the annoyance and anger that he had towards the producers of this film. He says things like, they saw this storyline as boring and not going anywhere, whereas I did. Okay, dude. But hey, after watching this, who can blame him? There was so much cut from this film. The whole beginning sequence is different. Eva Green has a kid in this movie. The monk that Balian kills at the beginning is his brother. Oh, and his wife commits suicide because she has a miscarriage. That makes so much more sense! What this movie really proves is just how powerful and effective a good editor can be. Because for me, the scenes in the theatrical version felt like they flew very nicely together. And it's just mind-blowing watching the director's cut and just seeing how much was cut from each scene. Snippet here, snippet there, snippet there. But you know, I don't put all the blame on the studio for it. The movie's budget was $130 million. That is a huge number that they have to hit, plus some just to break even. And if the runtime of the movie is shorter, that means that the movie gets to play more times in a day, so business-wise, it makes sense. But it can be very frustrating from the artistic point of view, just to be told to, hey, please chop this up so that we can make it work in the theater. The film industry. It's a give and take. And I am 100% certain that this film was trying to capitalize on the success of the Lord of the Rings trilogy that was released a couple years prior. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure that's why Orlando Bloom was cast in this movie. Instead of his character Legolas, he is basically Aragorn in this movie. They even give him the "Let them come" speech from the Two Towers.
So I say let them come. Let them come! Come on! Come on!
Come on! But I do think he does a fine job here. We follow the rise and fall of his character from his lowest point, from when he loses his wife, to his highest point when he is knighted and made Baron of Ibelin. Again, this is the whole hero's journey. this is an epic story. Liam Neeson is typecast as the wise older dude that teaches our protagonist everything that he knows, so, you know, it's actually kind of fun to see. And Eva Green's character is so much more developed in this version. They cut her son out of the whole theatrical version. You would never know. But because we find that out, everything that she does in this movie now makes so much more sense. And I actually think that this was the first movie that I saw real-life Jeremy Irons in. And I remember it being very jarring in the theater. That scar. Whoa. And plus, they give him a scar in this movie, so it was easy for me. And I love David Thewlis' character in this film. His speech about not putting stock in religion is one of my favorite bits of dialogue.
I put no stock in religion. By the word religion, I've seen the lunacy of fanatics of every denomination be called the will of God. I've seen too much religion in the eyes of too many murderers. Holiness is in right action and courage on behalf of those who cannot defend themselves.
I love that part. There's actually a lot of great dialogue in this film. It's very beautifully written. And speaking of beautiful, the cinematography in a Ridley Scott film has to be. They find some really cool shots to put in here. The entire Christian army is hidden behind the heat coming off of the dirt and the sand in the distance. The only thing we see is this giant shining crucifix over Balian's shoulder. There's a lot of beautiful lighting too with the curtains in this film. Beautiful colors of reds and yellows and amber tones. It just makes the indoor scenes that much more appealing. Now this movie did come out in 2005, right in the heart of when the United States of America were invading Iraq and the Middle East, so there is a lot of that kind of social commentary going on here. Basically showing that the conflict that we had or have with the Middle East stems back so far that you kind of have to start asking yourself, how did the fighting actually start? Why did it actually start? And why can't we all just get along? So in the end, I'd have to say Kingdom of Heaven has great visuals and has some great performances. I definitely recommend seeing the director's cut as opposed to seeing the theatrical version for the first time if you haven't. You get so much more from character development that makes you feel like you want to care for them a lot more, and it makes their actions make so much more sense. The dialogue scenes are beautiful. The action scenes are actually very beautiful too. I really enjoy this movie, but if you're gonna sit down and watch this, prepare yourself. Have tons of food and drink ready on the coffee table because you gotta be ready for the long haul. So I'm gonna give Kingdom of Heaven 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I think I see blue. He looks glorious.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my videos where I randomly select which movie I'm watching next. Let's take a look. The Purge! It's Halloween time. Let's get a nice little slasher film. Actually, from what I remember, this isn't even a slasher film. It's kind of a home invasion picture. Actually, I don't remember liking this first movie at all. I really like the second one, though. Kind of wish I was seeing that one. Oh well. Let's see how low of a score I'm going to give it next time. So everyone, have you seen Kingdom of Heaven? What did you think about it? Or, if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And when you're done commenting, please like and subscribe to my channel so you know the next time I'm posting my next movie review. So everyone, I will see you next time with my review of The Purge. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.